All right, so let's get to the last video. So we have proportionality and graphs. So, excuse me, we're going to look at a bike rider who is able to ride, he cycles 18 miles. Yeah, 18 miles in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, he can go 18 miles. So think of the equation we're gonna do. Are we looking for the constant? Nope, we're not looking for the constant. We're trying to fill in the table, which means we're going to say y is going to equal k times x. Well, we already know what our k is because they just told us. For 1 mile, it's 18. I'm sorry, for 1 hour, scratch that. For 1 hour, it's 18 miles. So I'm gonna say 18 times 2. What's 18 times 2? You can use a calculator if you need to. 36. 18, our constant, times 3. 54. I hope you have a calculator out. 18 times 4 is 72. 18 times 5 is 90. 18 times 6 is 108. And 18 times 7 is 126. You can also just add 18. Just keep adding 18. So in my head, that's how I can get to it quickly. But you can also use the calculator, okay? So, ordered pairs. Remember, your x goes first, and then your y. So I put my ordered pairs, let me make sure you can see, in parentheses, like that. And I separate it with a colon. Remember that? I hope so. So my first ordered pair is going to be my x and my y. 1 and 18. 1, 18. That's simple enough. My next ordered pair is 2 and 36. 2 and 36. My third ordered pair is 3 and 54. So I write 3 and 54. My next ordered pair is 4 and 72. So for every 4 hours, or in 4 hours, he cycled 72 miles. In 5 hours, he cycled 90 miles. And I'm just gonna keep filling out my chart. I'm sorry. 8th grade, we call it chart. I'm gonna keep filling out my table. 6 until I get all the way to the last ordered pair. Remember, the ordered pair is always your x and your y value. They're together, they're together, they're together, they're together, they're together, they're together, and they're together. Okay? So now we're going to see what it looks like when we have to graph. So I have my graph here, okay? This is just magnetic. Don't worry, I didn't draw this. This is just a magnet from Amazon, okay? So I'm going to look at my first order pairs, 1 and 18. Well, remember, I'm looking at my x value. So your x value is always your horizontal, and your y value is your vertical. So as you can see, I labeled. You always need to label your graph. Remember, this is review. It's nothing new. You've heard me say that over and over and over again in class. This is review, nothing new. So all I'm doing is reviewing this with you so you can do the assignment. So we label the graph, and we always have our x going this way, and our y is always going up and down, okay? So I'm looking at 1 and 18. Well, I go to 1 and I go up to 18 and I put a point. The next one says 2 and 36, so I go over to 2 and up to 36 and I put a point. I go over to 3 and up to 54, and I put a point. I go over to 4, excuse me, and I go up to 72, and I put a point. I go over to 5, and I go up to 90, and I put my point. Go over to 6, and up to 108, and I put a point. And I go over to 7, and up to 126, and I put a point. Am I done? Don't you say yes. No. I gotta draw my line. I gotta connect my dots. So we know that if he doesn't cycle, if there's no time, and he hasn't started yet, then he didn't go anywhere, so he's gonna pass through the origin. I hope you guys remember that. That's our 0, 0. So I can start from 0, 0, and I'm just gonna draw my line. Y'all know I hate lines that are not straight, but I don't have a ruler. I don't think I have a ruler. I don't have a ruler. So we're just gonna make it work. That's too rigid. Can't do that. So we're just gonna make it work, y'all. And I'm gonna put an arrow here because remember, lines keep going. Lines do not stop. This is a linear line. You'll learn that in 8th grade. But this is a line. And it's going to just keep going. If he just wanted to keep going, 8, 10, 100 hours, we would just keep going. Okay? So in this situation, our constant started off at 18 because it was 1 hour and then it was 18 miles. So our equation, you're going to have to write your own equation. Now, like I said, we have done this before, guys. This isn't the first time we've done it, okay? So since I already know what my K is, we have, oops. Your equation always starts, I had it right the first time. Your equation always starts with y equals. Y equals what? Think back to the previous video. Y equals K times X, remember? This is just a reminder. Y equals K times X. So instead of writing K over here, I'm going to write what the value of K is. What is the value of K in this example? It's 18. Do I have my X? I do. I have a lot of X's. But am I going to write times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? No. I'm just going to write the X. Because then I can take, let's just say I didn't fill that in. Then I would say, well, y is going to equal 18 times 2, which is 36. Oh, okay, well, let me try 3. Y equals 18 times 3 is 54. So that's when you write your equation this way. You always put your constant that you found here. The y stays a y, the equal sign stays an equal sign, and the x stays an x. The only thing you're doing when you're writing the equation is you're inserting the value for your k. All right? Insert the value, boop, for your k. Boop, just like that. Okay? This video is a little bit shorter because that's pretty self-explanatory. I think you do have an assignment that has this. I think one of the assignments does have graphs on them, and you will kind of, I think you plot the points. I have to take a look at it again, but I'm pretty sure you would just be plotting the points. And then if it asks you for the equation, just always remember Miss T said boop and boop. Boop, boop. That's it. Don't change anything else. It's not K equals Y over X because we're not trying to find the constant. We're trying to find the equation. Remember, equations always start with Y equals. Okay? I'm trying to think if there's another example that we could do. Not necessarily. We can talk about like whether something is proportional or not. When you're looking at a graph and you see that it's a straight line and a line that passes through the origin, which is it starts at 0, or starts at 0, 0, not just 0, but it starts at 0, 0. that is going to be a line that we call linear. And that is going to be a proportional relationship, always. Always, always, always. What is not a proportional relationship is a line that does not pass through 0. So let's do this. A line that does not pass through 0, 0. So this is a line that, let's see, we'll start it like up here. This line does not pass 0, 0. Even though this line is straight. Yeah, it's a straight line. But it's a straight line and it can be linear. But it's not a proportional line. There is no proportion to it. So you cannot say K equals something, K equals 18, because it will not. That means this is a non-proportional relationship. So we will call this non-proportional. Why is it non-proportional? Because it did not pass through the origin. Remember, this is review, nothing new. It did not pass through the origin. So because it did not pass through the origin, it cannot be a proportional relationship. It's called non-proportional. Another non-proportional relationship is something like this. That's non-proportional. Not only is this not a straight line, so it's not linear, it's also not proportional. Usually something like this is, well, I could say the stock market, but you guys are too young to understand the stock market. But let's just say that I was riding my bike and I went fast, really fast, and then I went so fast that I got super tired, and I just, going down the hill, I just let my feet go and I just zoomed on down the hill. It can also be sometimes something will cost this and sometimes it costs that, and then sometimes it goes back down to costing something cheaper. So these can be relationships. They can have relationships, so your X and your Y can be related, but it doesn't mean that they're proportional, and it doesn't mean that it's a straight line. Okay, so if on the assignment it asks you, is this relationship proportional, and you see something that does not pass the origin, or something that looks like that, or something that looks like that, say no, it's not proportional. Okay. So if you have questions, same thing I said on the other videos, please reach out to someone. Don't try to struggle on your own. You have resources, and you need to use them, okay? That's what those resources are for. I am available from 9 to 1. You can email me any question on, well, any day of the week, Monday through Friday, okay? I hope this is helpful. I hope this was a helpful review for you. And I will see you guys next week.